G'day everyone, Scott here from One Green Thumb Gardening in Toowoomba. Today I'm at a customer's place and this is the worst part with winter and weeds. So I've got a property here that's got winter grass, which is this guy here. So you can sort of see how close the seeds are to the ground. I technically should have sprayed last week, but I missed last week because it just didn't happen. So now this week they're sort of gone into seed. So what I'm doing is I'm just using a good old knife. Most of the time with winter weed, you can actually just pull this guy out. It's pretty easy just to pull him out. But I find that you get a lot of holes like that. So to avoid that, I just use my knife. I'll come underneath the crown. So your crown's sort of where the grass goes between the roots. Between the roots and the top of the plant. So, and I believe this is perennial ryegrass, this sucker here. But yeah, what I do is I just sort of just come underneath, and I don't find that I have these great big holes by pulling out the root system. Now, you can spray this with winter grass killer, which is fine, and it takes, so you got to do it every 2 weeks for basically the duration of winter. I went and bought really good special stuff from Lawn Pride, and I still didn't get the results that I was after. So I've just sort of got, like, it's a fairly large, so what have we got, 100 square meters here. Last year when I tried to spray out my ryegrass, which is this guy here, with the Monopoly, I basically did more harm to the buffalo than I did good. So this time I'm just coming through and just getting rid of my grass by hand. And if I sprayed it and left it, then you've got all these weed seeds here that are going to go back into the soil for next year. So I know it's a bit more tedious to do it this way. Get one of those beer hats and away you go. But so you can buy winter grass killer from Bunnings, but it's fairly expensive, so I buy it through either Lawn Pride or get it through your produce shops. You'll find it half the price. But yeah, they do recommend spraying every 10 days, and sometimes I just can't get to a customer's house every 10 days to maintain the vigilance that I need. So today I'm just going to smash through and do this. Being that buffalo is a running grass, you don't really upset the roots too much by cutting underneath. So what else can I tell you about? A bit of chickweed. Otherwise, for the rest of, like, all this chickweed and bindi and stuff like that, if you just use your Buffalo Master on your, works great. What else? Don't forget to water, and also with your weeds, if you've got a lot of sow thistles and mallow, plantain, any sort of the higher weeds, make sure you mow regularly to try and stop the weeds from coming through the going into seed and then dropping back in. With, like I said, with the winter grass, it usually stays underneath the lawnmower blades, so she's a bit of a pain in the ass. And it's also more challenging doing this one-handed than to use two. So if I had two hands, I usually grab the top like that and pull him up. Oh, sorry, grab another one. I grab him, so I pull him up, and then I'll put my other hand, so you'll be able to grab the root better, and then you'll be able to just pull him straight out. So I didn't know whether that worked, so I'll show you again. So with one hand I'd pull him up, and then with the other hand I'd get down as close as I can, and you'll be able to find the base of your plant and just pull him up, and then you've got your root system. But this works just as effective. Sometimes you do miss the top and the bottom, so you gotta, but generally most times I get, so pretty close. See what happens. At least now they're not going to go into seed. All right, so that's sort of what I do to manage my winter grass weeds. G'day everyone, Scott here from One Green Thumb Gardening in Toowoomba. So this is part 2 of this section. So I've just gone through and pulled out all the large winter grass and the annual ryegrass, or it's some type of ryegrass, I'm not 100% sure. So what I do is just take out the larger stuff, and now I've gone through and sprayed all my buffalo grass with so 5 litres, and I put 60 mil of Buffalo Master, 60 mil of 2,4-D. I've put in sea sol and my Deluge, which is a wetting surfactant, wetting agent. And the winter grass killer, most important. So 75 mils of winter grass killer. So I've gone through and I've sprayed all this. Even though it's funny because you look at an area and you don't think it's that weedy until you start actually spraying it. But like, I don't know what this stuff is. This vine that just comes through and just comes straight over the top. So it goes all through your garden. So there's my winter grass coming through. So I've just gone and sprayed all that. Yeah, so basically that's what I do when I go to properties, just come through. If it's too big to sort of spray, because then you're going to put the seeds back into the ground, pull them out, and then spray the small stuff. Yeah, so that's what I've done here today. And so then I'll come back in about 3 weeks' time and repeat the process. Eventually, get rid of them all. A couple of years ago, this place was just full of grass. It's getting there slowly. All right, thanks for watching One Green Thumb Garden. If there's any questions, queries, feedback, good, bad, love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. See ya.